Yo, what's up everybody? Typical AJ here. Today, I got something that has been requested not multiple, one Discord server, and it is actually a thumbnail tutorial. So, here's what I'm going to do for you guys today. So, I'm grabbing a transparent background in PicsArt. I do this all on mobile. I'm choosing a 16 by 9 or a YouTube layout. And then, so I'm going to grab my Captain Price images, and I'm going to just sort them out, move them around to where I like them. So I'm going to put this Captain Price image in over here. Then I'm going to put this image down here. And I want to make them big and hover over each other because we're going to go into our erase tool up at the top and choose and go with a size 100 and then 0 hardness. So that way it doesn't look like it's like an actual like eraser from like school or something. It looks like a professional eraser. So as you can see, that's what I'm doing here. I'm taking that size and I'm just going with the hardness and I'm going down. And basically you just want to do this until it looks smooth and it doesn't look like you have put 4 or however many images you use all together and stack them on top of each other. Okay, so here is where it kind of gets complicated, but not really. So I'm going into here and I'm going to go to black and white. I'm going to save that. I'm going to invert it, and then I'm going to invert it again. That way I can get a better, like, hue or something. And I change it to this light blue color because of an actual, like, art I got inspired from that I'm doing for my hand cam video. And that's going to be out soon if you guys want to watch that. So basically, I'm going to go into Fonto to actually add the font. So many people from Brick General's Discord will know that I have used this font a lot, and I mean a lot. So I'm going to type here John Price, and I have this style that I use. So like I put the text, I made a color pattern. The stroke is black with a 7 width, and then as you can see here, feel free to pause the video so you can copy all of this down. But yeah, I think I do have in this recording a excuse me, a tutorial on how to make it. It's not exactly like the one I just did. It's kind of different, kind of. But yeah. So the Captain Price that I want to put above the actual John Price name is this version right here on this art. And you can see as I zoom in, the artist, go check that person out if you want to. I will leave a Mediafire pack so you can download every image I used in this. And it should be very easy, very quick. This one was quick. This video was originally 9 minutes and 30 seconds. It only took me about, 10 minutes. It's really quick, easy, and your thumbnails actually turn out looking good. So here I'm just outlining it, and it's kind of like the Photoshop lasso tool, except this one isn't, of course, as professional. And I'm going to get some of those words in there. It doesn't matter. That won't be seen by anyone besides from this, where I'm actually outlining it and erasing it. So I want to make sure I don't get anything else on this. I just want the Captain Price, because with this PicsArt tool, I don't really like using it, but each time I use Photoshop Mix, it always comes out and it still has its white background, which I do not appreciate because it is a pain to cut that stuff out. But this one, I think it's definitely one of the more longer processes. I don't know what that was. Processes, but yeah, so I'm just outlining this. I'm not gonna time lapse it because I really want you guys to understand so you can go ahead and make your own thumbnails. The font I use is called Evogria, I believe. I use the italic personally. I don't use the basic one. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just erasing that background where it's by his cables. I'm just erasing that background. I think I might just end up keeping it instead. I don't think I do in this recording. And it's a shame because I should remember this. So just erasing all of that stuff, all of the access. And yeah, so we're going to save that image right there. we're going to go back to that original one that we made with the John Price background. And I grab one of these. I put it at the bottom. You know, I size it out. Then I'm going to duplicate it twice. Okay, for this one I did it once, but I usually duplicate it twice to completely hide under there, since I don't really put my images full size. That way, if I wanted to capture a certain likeness, I don't want it to be, you know, one side is down here, and I don't want it to be visible because I don't use the full entire size of this thumbnail. Sorry if that didn't make sense. That didn't make sense when it was coming out. It sounded much better in my head. But right here, we were getting rid of that I missed earlier. So what I'm doing here is pretty simple. I'm just going to the eraser tool and erasing all of the excess background between the goggles. It will be way too time consuming to actually get everything that was around. So we're gonna have John here. We're gonna put him behind those two layers that you have under your thumbnail. You're gonna go. I personally like color splashing everything. Some of you may see that from my thumbnails. I like color splashing. So I'm just gonna erase everything else that was on here, and I only want his flag showing because that's what I usually do for my stuff. Each of the colorful parts, I will only make it, you know, come out like that. So now that I'm doing this, I'm gonna go back to his flag, and I'm gonna hit restore, and I'm just gonna give him all of the red parts. I do use a stylus. It came with my iPad. I use an iPad 6th Gen. So if any of you are interested, you know, I don't really think it's that much of a hefty price. I got it for Christmas. But don't mind the background noise, my window's open. But yeah, so we have that. So we have the flag done. I'm just trying to get all of the fine details here. That's my brother in the background. And yes, I'm giving it HDR. I didn't mean to lower the fade. The fade's supposed to go higher because you really don't want it to be that sharp. So I put it on a 58 fade. And then we should be done with this image. And the reason why that Captain Price looks different from here is because on the little sides that you see, especially on your right side, I did choose the black and white. I did choose the black and white effect, and what I basically did was erase the black and white from his patches on his arm and his body. And I did not mean to write that. I meant to go Price, simple misclick there. So what I did for this one is I was thinking of a 2 tilt, but I was thinking that doesn't really make that much sense. So I went with a tilt on 1. And I basically went ahead and I did that same thing that you saw me do for John Price. And here's where I actually show it, but I think that I did better with the other one. So the text I created a color pattern. I don't go too in depth here, but I will go in depth in another video if you guys want that. So here on the styles, I go with the shadow. I put it on the highest opacity, not on 100. So I put it on 91. And basically, I took that as reference. The blur is on 0. I recommend blur on 0, because then it'll just look like it's glowing back in the background. So I kind of wanted that 3D effect. So for the stroke, did not mean to create a color pattern for the stroke. Didn't even know you could do that prior to this recording. But here, you can see, I do have my Captain Price. So here, the color pattern is a white, it's that gray. It's the first 3 colors you'll see on Fonto, and then it's that dark gray. So basically, you would save that. It's up there, but my watermark is in the way. It's up there by save. You don't want to put it on horizontal. That sucks. Definitely don't want to go character by character because it doesn't look good unless you have different colors. And word by word is basically you're gonna have a white and then that light gray. So I use vertical